TYRA.
TYRA. Okay, TYRA. I recently read an article that said women hate each other. Is that true? And what is your experience with that?
I don't necessarily think women hate each other, but there is that element of jealousy where you can't be fully happy for another woman. You must compete, or you must like always think that, okay, she has this, what can I do to have that? In some cases, there are women like that, but not all women. I mean, me and my friend, we like support each other, we're happy for each other, you know. It's not always the case of women hate each other. I know that stereotype, but yes, it does happen a lot where women can't be like happy for each other and fully and genuinely support each other. There is jealousy, there is competitiveness, but not with all of us, just with some, you know, 50-50 maybe.
You think it's because of men, the jealousy and competition, because of maybe sexual rivalry? You think so?
Not really. I can't really say too much on that. I haven't had experience on such a thing. I'd say the jealousy springs from if you're just jealous of another woman in general. Like, I don't know much about jealousy of a woman for a man. Okay, I mean, I get that if I like a guy but he likes another woman, that type of jealousy, but I'm not talking about in terms of sexual rivalry. I can't really say too much on that, but I know there are things like that are happening where I like him but he doesn't feel me, he likes her. Automatically now we start hating on each other because, you know, as much as I try to be happy for you, it's hard because I want him but he doesn't want me, he wants you. So immediately, yeah, you are seen as like the competition. I know I would see you as, okay, I wanted him, he wanted her, what does she have that I don't, you know? But not with all women. There are some women that can genuinely be happy.
Okay.
Even if it doesn't mean his happiness is with her, he can be happy that she can be happy that he found happiness with like someone else. Yeah, so that's what I have to say on that. I'm not really clued up. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. In my previous video, I argued with someone. I told them that just be yourself is terrible advice. What do you think about that?
I don't think it's terrible advice. I mean, if you want anyone to know you, you have to be yourself. I mean, if we meet for the first time, I want you to know me and like me for me. I mean, if I'm putting up a front and you like me, you're not liking me because you don't know me. It's not really terrible advice, honestly, because now I'm going to be so stressed that, oh my gosh, I can't really be who I am because when I first met him, I was acting like this or like this, or when I first met her, I was putting up a front, I was acting like this person or this person. No, be yourself. That's great advice. Be yourself,
Okay.
because it's not worth it to be panicking and stressed being someone else that you're not. If you like me for me. If you don't like me, then you don't like me for me. I'm at peace. I know that there is no two ways about it. Yeah.
Okay. How can someone deal with insecurity, or how do you deal with insecurities?
I'd have to say largely my friends, my family, because I don't know if there is a way to really deal with your insecurities. We'll always be insecure. There'll always be insecurities. I mean, we're human. You can never be fully confident. Okay, there are those people that say they've achieved 100% confidence, but there'll always be something that you're insecure about. And largely my friends help me feel better about myself. You know, if I'm feeling insecure, like, oh, maybe I don't look good in this, or maybe I'm too thin, I know my friend will, like, you know, she'd uplift me. I know my family, my mother, my father, you know, they'd uplift me. So I largely think it's like friends and family that build me up. I don't think that I could deal with my insecurities on my own. I feel, for me, I talk to people. It helps me feel better. But I feel like there'd always be that element of like insecurity. We'd always feel insecure about something. And it's okay, man. We're human. Like, who doesn't have a feeling of insecurity now and then? Yeah.
Okay. That was a very smart answer. So speaking on friends, right? How do you personally identify between fake friends and real friends? How can you tell if someone is genuinely into you and it's not just for the moment?
So with my friend, okay, we've only had like 2 major arguments, but the next day she made sure we spoke about it, we understood each other, you know. She'd talk about where she went wrong, apologize, I talk about where I went wrong, apologize. And I feel like that's what a real friend is. If we fight and you leave me, did you really value our relationship, our friendship? If you can just go dead quiet on me, you can't do that. We talk about it, make sure we're okay. That's for me what I identified as a good friend. Checking up on me, you know, if I don't text her, she'll be like, hey, are you okay? Is everything okay? Phoning me, helping me out with schoolwork. like being helpful, like, or being happy for me if things happen for me. That's what a true friend is, you know. But especially I feel like if we're having altercations and you make sure that we talk to each other and we fix it and we like come right, that's what a real friendship is. No real friend would just leave you unhappy, you know, if they know that you guys are not okay or not in a good space. That's what a real friend is to me.
Okay. Thank you for that. I won't disagree. I agree with that very much. The last two questions, right? This may be sensitive or misogynistic to some people, right? But there are some people say that women should not be in positions of power. What do you think about that? That's the first.
I mean, I know I've heard that before. I've heard like men. Okay, I'm not trying to just make this a race. A gender thing. But men say women are too compassionate. You know, we don't have that bone in us to be like to lead with our heads. We lead with our hearts. But I honestly don't think that's a bad thing. Sometimes you do need a compassionate person in power. You know, one with brains and compassion. You can't just lead with your head. It doesn't work out. You know, you end up being a tyrant. You must lead with feeling. You have to have compassion for people. For me, what makes a great leader is the element of compassion. So for me, I think women are great leaders. You know, we have brains.
You would vote for a female president?
I definitely would, 100%.
Okay.
I definitely.
So you answered like the second half of my question. I was just going to speak about people saying women think with their emotions rather than logic. And what do you have to say about that?
We think with both. We are emotional people. It is who we are. We can't just turn off being emotional people. Women are emotional, you know. But I think it's a good thing. We do think with our heads. We also think with our hearts. I think we need that balance in life. I don't think anyone should just think with their head straight. You should have both in it, you know. You should think with both. You should think with your head and your heart. I think that's what I think. You should have both elements.
Okay, instinct and also
instinct.
logic.
Yes, I think that's what leads to the best outcome. But as I'm saying, that's what I think. You know, maybe people say I'm being biased because I'm a woman. That's okay. It's my opinion. Yeah.
Okay. I want to ask one more question, right? And then we will wrap up about traditional women. I was arguing with two feminists. They said being a housewife or being a trad wife is slavery and it's putting a man in a position of power. What do you have to say about that?
Being a housewife or being a, sorry?
Or a trad wife, a traditional wife, like stay at home, cook, clean.
You see, I'm not a feminist, but I don't agree with being a housewife. But I've spoken to many girls that said they can be housewives. They like don't mind submission. To them, it's not like you're putting a man in a place of power. It's that if a man can lead you, you know, if he can guide you to greener pastures, if he's a good man, if he if he can take care of your heart, you know, safeguard your heart. You can see this man is focused, he's driven, he's for his family, he's for taking you guys in. Then sure, be a housewife, submit, you know. I don't say that you're giving men all the power. There are women that don't mind submission, and that's okay because the men that they're submitting to are good men that can lead them to greener pastures, men that take care of them, men that love them, men that are honest to them. And then there are women that don't believe in being a housewife, and that's also okay. Be your husband's equal. Talk to him, you know. You guys don't have to, I must be better. No, don't do that. You guys can be each other's equals as long as you guys understand each other. I don't believe being a housewife is putting a man in a position of power if he's a good man. You know, if he's a bad man, that's a whole different story. If he's a man that wants to rule you or dictate, that's a whole different story. But what I'm saying in general is being a housewife, it's okay. There are women that want to be housewives and that's okay. But for me personally, I wouldn't want to be a housewife. I would want to work, you know, help my husband, be his equal.
Will you cook and clean? Sorry.
Yeah, I would cook and clean, but he must also help me. You know, I like balance. I believe in...
What?
Yes.
Sure about that?
Yes.
Okay, no offense, but you think you'll find a guy who wants to split cooking and cleaning duties?
Yes, in my household, the household I grew up in, my father helps my mother. You know, they both cook, they both clean. If I grew up in a household like that, that's what I'm expecting from my husband because I've seen it happen. It's how I grew up. It's what I've seen. You see,
so my mentality is wrong, is what you're saying?
There's no one with the wrong mentality. We think different, but you can't impose what you think on me. That's now.
Isn't that attractive though? If I make a woman follow my program, is it not attractive?
I don't find like when you say if you make a woman follow your program, are you trying to impose what you believe on her?
Yes, naturally that and historically that is what happened You see?
Yes, naturally and historically, but now we're in 2024, where people's thinkings have changed, you know. Women are modern, men are also modern. Not all men think like this, but if you're gonna if you speak to me nicely and like make me understand where you're coming from, sure, I don't mind submitting if you're a good man. If you guard my heart, if you're gonna guide me to greener pastures, I'll submit. But if you're gonna impose and tell me what to do, no, we
Okay.
can't. You can't tell me what to do. We need to talk
Okay.
like adults.
The last thing, right? Thank you for that. About the religion aspect. The woman may be Christian, the husband is Islamic. Historically, the woman would take on the man's religion. What do you think about that?
I mean, it still happens a lot.
It makes sense.
It does make sense. Okay, that's what we've grown up seeing. But there are a few couples, like just a few that I've seen, where the man doesn't impose his religion on the woman or doesn't force her to convert. But I would convert, you know, I don't mind. As long as my husband makes me feel comfortable and makes me feel like I can change when I'm ready, when I'm comfortable, you know, when I'm ready to let go of all I've known. Because it's hard, you know. You grew up a Christian woman, suddenly you're going to take on Islam. It's a different thing, you know. I didn't grow up like that. But if he guides me, you know, eases me into it, yeah, naturally I would convert. But if you come to me and tell me I will or I must, that's a different story. You can't, like, I don't like when people impose what they believe on me. We should talk. You should guide me through it. You should ease me into it. You should make me comfortable. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, my sister. I agree with a lot of the things you said. About the duties, I will personally make a video about it. But thank you so much. Your points were intelligent and sensible.
Thank you.